Oh, majestic! A hunter is a hunter even in a dream. But alas, not too fast. The nightmare swirls and churns unending. Some say Cosm. Do you hear our prayers, as you once did for the vacuous wrong? Grant us eyes, grant us eyes, plant eyes on our brains to cleanse our beastly idiocy. The grand lake of mud, hidden down inside. Cosmos, of course.
Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, welcoming you back to my blind playthrough of Bloodborne. This is episode 28. It is Tuesday, April 14th today. I hope you're having a great day. And we're going to get out of this hideously ugly armor. Or at least the chest piece. Which we were wearing solely for its arcane defense. Turned out that we didn't really need it because I was fortunately able to just stun lock him against the fence there. It's stark contrast to my previous attempt where he wound up getting me with his AoE, and I don't think he did his AoE attack there once. So yeah, it worked out rather well. You may also notice that my life bar is a fair bit longer than it was before, and that's because I did a great deal of farming, which almost has me at the final... at the end point for this build, which is level 110. So the only thing we have left to do is get 2 more points into Vitality and 2 more into Endurance, and then we'll have the 40-40, 30-30 quality build. It's a shame that I seem to have wasted those points I put into Arcane and Blood Tinge, but what are you going to do? So just as I suspected, the bridge that was down there, and I suspected this based on the fact that there was a side path that you could go around. that seem to serve no purpose at all, and just based on the look of this thing, that it would raise at a certain point as a shortcut. Not so much a shortcut as it is just allowing us to reach an area that otherwise would have been unreachable. But we're going to warp back to the Hunter's Dream before we proceed any further. Alright, so I realize that some of you might like to see what happens in the Hunter's Dream when I warp over there, but given the length of some of the episodes that I've put out and the amount of time that those take to edit and render, in the interest of time, I've been cutting out the minutia of leveling up and whatnot, for the most part. Whereas earlier in the playthrough, I was a little bit more hesitant to do that, because I was still discovering things. But now that I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing, I don't really think it's all that worthwhile to show you guys. If I'm wrong about that, then please let me know in the comments. And for future playthroughs, I will be more cognizant of the fact that, because, yeah, some people like to see that stuff, some don't. But I'll just get a feel for what everyone thinks before making my mind up either way. So we picked up the Mensis cage from the boss we just fought. The School of Mensis controls the Unseen Village. This hexagonal iron cage suggests their strange ways. The cage is a device that restrains the will of the self, allowing one to see the profane world for what it is. It also serves as an antenna that facilitates contact with the great ones of the dream. But to an observer, the iron cage appears to be precisely what delivered them to their harrowing nightmare. And so indeed, we saw dead bodies with the Mensis cage over their head all over the Unseen Village of Yahar Ghul. And yeah, it's kind of strange. Let's see how it looks when we pop it on. I can see some troll potential here. I suppose this could be the equivalent to the Xanatos crown. Sure, why not? But yeah, not for me, or at least not for this playthrough. And I do also want to apologize for anyone who endured the previous episode and didn't shut it off halfway. I thank you, but I am also very sorry about the just severe audio quality issues in that episode. I perhaps shouldn't have been trying to record under the conditions that I was trying to record. But I hope you understand, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, the extent to which I really just want to finish up this playthrough so that I can stop being an internet hermit crab, and such that, you know, I don't go to any of my usual corners of the internet, and I'm missing it quite a bit. And it's been about 3 weeks now since I've been in internet dark mode, so as to avoid spoilers. I've already seen a few things. I know, for example, I don't know much more beyond this, but I know, for example, that there are 3 different endings. So that's something that, I suppose it doesn't really spoil much for the first playthrough, other than forcing me to think a little bit about what I'm going to do, whenever that choice is presented to me. But yeah. Again, apologies for the previous episode. That episode took about 3 or 4 times as long for me to edit as does a normal one, because essentially what I was doing, in addition to, while I was recording the episode, not talking as much as I usually would, I also cut out all of these spots in the dialogue audio track where I wasn't talking. So all the spots with silence where you could only either hear the kids from the daycare downstairs or my blinds flapping in the wind, because there were some really high winds yesterday as well. Yeah, I mentioned that today is Tuesday, April 14th. It's very early in the morning, 8 a.m. I'm not an 8 a.m. type person, by no stretch of the imagination. Certainly I wouldn't be recording if I were getting up this early. In fact, I'm still awake from the night before. I lay in bed for some 3 hours trying to sleep, but no luck. So I figured I might as well try and finish up this playthrough, because I feel as though we're getting close. And I'm wondering whether one of the bosses we might be fighting will be the final boss. Just based alone on the sheer creepiness of this area. Again, we have the half dogs, half crows, and my crazy unlocked flailing R1 spam. I've gotten so used to just playing for the most part unlocked in this game that... And I can hear a baby crying. Those look very much like the shadow bosses that we fought. And this would appear to be a shortcut, so we'll open that up. That should go, I believe, all the way down to the bottom. Unless this is... Okay. So is this another shortcut? This area is humongous, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna keep our Bolt Hunter's mark out, so as to not be caught completely off guard by invaders, but we got a lot of bloodstains here. I'm assuming related to those enemies that we just saw, who look very much like the shadows of Yharnam, the bosses that we fought in the Forbidden Woods. Hey fellas, you remember me? You have some very nice katanas. So if I were to ever do a skill build or dexterity build, whatever it's going to be called, I would want it to be with a weapon like the ones they're carrying. Oh, that's some really bad misses there. Let's finish you off. And nothing like the threaded cane, or at least what I've seen of the threaded cane. Which reminds me very much of the puzzling stone sword from Dark Souls 2, of which I'm not a huge fan. I don't like whip-type weapons. Oh, and I forgot about you. You're the third member of the Shadow Crew, aren't you? The Pyromancer. I took you up first in the boss fight. I remember that very clearly, cause... Except this time you seem to have the Tesla weapon. Or last time I believe you had a katana. No matter. Atmosphere in this place is just chilling. Time for Hidden Path. Indeed. Ah, Bloodstone Chunk. So as I may have mentioned, I am recording with the wrong microphone. And I'm hearing a baby crying. I do not like the sounds of that. I am recording with the wrong microphone, but insofar as this microphone does a better... It's actually the internal microphone on my laptop. And this did happen in my Dark Souls 2 Let's Talk Lore playthrough as well. Wow, you have a lot of health, don't you? That also did happen for a few episodes, in fact, for my Dark Souls 2 Let's Talk Lore playthrough, but that worked out alright, so here's to hoping that this one does as well. Because after that, after the amount of time I spent editing that last episode, it's enough to, yeah, really make you frustrated. Or at least for me, enough to make me... Oh! You do not look like the other pigs. And there's the Sinister Bell. So I was beginning to wonder whether we would be invaded here as well, but it sounds very much like that is a distinct possibility. Oh. Did not catch the name of that blood gem, but it certainly looked interesting. King Coldblood, King Coldblood. Just hoping we'd come up on a shortcut sooner or later. I'd rather sooner than later. In fact, that might be what this is right here. Oh, there's the Bell Maiden. So just in the interest of owning my comments from previous episodes about wanting there to be invasions, I am once again not going to kill the Bell Maiden. Wow, look at that. There's a Crystal Lizard. But with that said, I am trying to find a shortcut. And we just went down a one-way drop, so I don't know if that's actually what we're going to find here. Oh, this is just where we came from. Okay. Interesting. So, I don't know if we're approaching the final boss. I kind of hope that we're not. Because I did mention that I would like to do a loose ends episode of sorts. Where I go through some of the areas and explore in greater depth than I have up until this point. Can I aggro just like one of you guys, please? Preferably not all of you. Seems to be just the Pyromancer. Oh, we are about to be invaded. Alright. Could have killed the Bell Maiden. So I have no right to complain whatsoever. Still no invaders, so... Nope, now it's gone. Okay. So I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, that right there for me is reason enough to always have the Bolt Hunter's Mark equipped, at least when you're in an area where there's a Bell Maiden. Ouch, that hurt quite a bit. Luckily his friends don't seem interested. and helping him out. Thank you. Hey, fellas. I'll tell me all three of you guys are gonna... Alright. You guys pack quite the punch, don't you? Hold. Alright, greatsword's nowhere near fast enough for these guys. Alright, so we're going to march onward. Hope that we can find a shortcut before we get invaded. Oh, shit. Okay. That's the woman we saw after defeating Rom, the spider. So we're going to make sure this shortcut is actually a shortcut before we talk to her. Or is it? That actually looks like it could be a boss fight. Shit. Decisions. That is the same woman we saw. The bloodstained skirt and all. There's got to be a shortcut around here. That is good game design. That is very good game design. Oops. A seasoned player knows how your levels are designed. But also, this particular seasoned player happens to be a very paranoid player. So I'm going to make sure that this is... Yes, so that will bring us from the bottom up here. And then this will bring us up top. Perfect. Oh no. That's no good. Just send this back down. You can only use one of them? Or you can only... Huh. Okay. Is it a permanent item? Well, let's use it. Find out. Okay, we can't talk to you. Alright. I'm really afraid of what's coming next. This must be the crying baby we heard. Nightmare slain. I can't recall if it said that after we defeated Amygdala. But very cool. Okay, so we have 2/3 of an umbilical cord now. This cord granted Mensis audience with Murgo, but resulted in the stillbirth of their brains. Every great one loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. So initially I was hesitant to use these, and I still am. I'm still going to wait until we get the third, to see whether it combines into a single umbilical cord before consuming them. But because these two just say use to gain insight. This one says use to gain insight and, so they say, eyes on the inside. Although no one remembers what that truly entails. So I was initially thinking it was something like the Firekeeper souls from Dark Souls 1, where you could use it to gain humanity, but it would be a foolish thing to do unless your SS class was already maxed out, or unless you were duping it. But it seems to be intended based on that item description alone. Let's see if the woman's still there. She is still there. Whoa. So... I assume she's the one who gave birth to the child. A child of one of the Great Ones, which then caused the moon to lower. Or was that caused by us defeating Rom, the vacuous spider? I don't know. There's so many different things going on here. And I haven't even begun to piece them together. And I suppose because this is a nightmare, the moon is in its normal, very much not red state. It's not a low-hanging moon. So it looks like we found out why there are bloodstains here. What is happening? Okay, I'm going to really quickly cut it here, because I've been recording for 48 minutes, and hope that whatever it is that's causing these bloodstains and that set our workshop on fire doesn't come and kill me in the meantime before I can start recording the next episode. So I hope you'll see me then. Bye-bye!